This is about 12 hours worth of reflux. There's not much to see here, and the goal was to get all the available free nitric acid used up to try to get all that platinum that we have in that flask to go into solution. I figured reflux is the best way to do it. As you can see, I've had this on refluxing for a good 12 hours now. Still got a little bit of fumage going on. But I think what we're going to do now is go ahead and turn the heat off and let this cool down and see what we got going on inside that flask. This reflux condenser setup worked beautifully. And what I did is I just kept this bucket full of ice, and it had a nice water flow, cooling flow going to the condenser. I'll begin by disassembling our rig, turn off the pump, removing the hoses so we can drain the water out of our condenser. What we'll do now is transfer our solution into this beaker. Still kind of warm. I'm anxious to see what kind of material is going to be left in here. How do we want to do this? Some solids left in there. I don't know if you can see that. Solid pieces of metal. So I'm gonna have to dump all this into this beaker.
we're going to reinsert our stir plate in here. Set our beaker up on the stir plate. I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to turn the stir bar back on. And I'm going to add some heat. I'm going to try to evaporate this down until all the fumes are gone to get rid of the excess nitric. Before I get too far into this, I'm going to reach in here and get a stannous test. See where we're at, just to get a baseline on how this is going to look. Nice orange color. I've been evaporating the solution for about 14 hours now, trying to get those fumes to clear up, and like in a gold refining, but of course this is platinum and I can't get those fumes to go away, so we're going to call it here. I've got it down to 100 milliliters of liquid. I've got probably an ounce of platinum in there. So I'm just going to conclude that all the nitric has been driven off. I'm going to cool this down, and then we're going to go from there. I've allowed this to cool completely. There's some kind of orange precipitate in there. Not quite sure what that is. Now what we're going to do is take this down off the heating pad, so we can work with it. I'm going to rehydrate the solution with some hydrochloric acid. Got a filter rig set up here. I'm going to dampen the filter with some hydrochloric acid. And now I've got a hand pump here. I'm going to pull a vacuum on our filter flask. Okay, if you look, the filtrate coming out of there is running clear now. I've rinsed the filter with hydrochloric acid, so I think our filtering operation is complete.
Let's see what we got on our filter here. These solids could be this could be rhodium or iridium. There's some small pieces of platinum that did not dissolve. Everything else went in solution pretty good. So I'm gonna get these out, put them in a little beaker down here and save them. This would be platinum. Here's our little pieces of platinum that didn't dissolve. I'll rinse these off real good. And we'll save these. Now we're going to transfer our chloroplatinic acid into this clean beaker. Down here, our level's at about 600 milliliters, and I think that's about where we want to be, because I'm gonna guess that there's 30 grams of platinum in here, and we're gonna go with the 1 gram per 20 milliliters formula. So if we've got 30 grams of platinum, 20 milliliters of liquid, gives us 600. That's about where we're at. I've got some ammonium chloride here, and what we're going to do is use ammonium chloride to precipitate out our platinum. I have no idea how much to use, so I'm just going to put in about a couple hundred milliliters worth. I've got some warm distilled water here. We're going to dissolve this ammonium chloride in some warm distilled water. The book said to make a concentrated solution, so I'm going to add a couple more spoons of ammonium chloride just to make sure we've got a nice concentrated solution of ammonium chloride. Here we go. Let's take our solution of ammonium chloride, and we're going to add it to our platinum solution. See what happens. Should precipitate out the platinum with this ammonium chloride. Here we go. Our ammonium chloride. I'm going to rinse down the stirring rod and the inside of the beaker now with some ammonium chloride. Starting to settle out a little bit. I'm going to put this on time lapse and just let it go. All right, we've got our platinum precipitated out here. So what we'll do is collect that precipitate in a filter. I'm going to fill a squirt bottle up with ammonium chloride water. Here we go. We're going to collect the precipitate now in this filter. Now what I'll do is rinse the precipitate with this ammonium chloride water. Let's get our platinum. This is what it looks like. Hexachloroplatinate. Got a casserole dish here. It's got the weight on it, empty. And what I'll do is transfer the platinum into this dish now. Okay, I probably spent a half an hour scraping this stuff out of here, little by little. I know it's painful for you to watch because it's painful for me to do, but I got just as much of this out of here as I possibly can. Get into our dish down here. dish over here on a heat source. And the only way to do this is to heat it with a water bath, because that stuff is soupy. And if we tried to heat it directly, it'd spatter everywhere. So I'm going to add some water to this dish, and we'll start heating the water, which will transfer the heat to this dish, and then it'll slowly dehydrate our platinum material. The book said not to add the paper or burn the paper in there with the platinum stuff. So that's why I scraped it out of this filter. But I'm gonna save this. There's still plenty of stuff in there. And what I'll do is when I get done burning this over here in this dish here, what I'll do is I'll crumple that paper up and put it in a dish, and we'll burn it and see what the difference is. Let's take a look at what we got in this flask. This is our waste solution that we filtered off. I'm going to get down in here and get a little bit of it on a piece of filter paper. We're going to test this, see what kind of metals we have in solution here. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of material in solution. All right, I think we've got this complete. Let's take a look at this material. I had to finish it off with the torch at the end, towards the end there. Let me get up under here and see if we've got everything. Oh, look at that, man. Yep, it's nice. Platinum sponge. It's impure, but there's a little bit of, I see a little bit of red right back there. See that? Right there? There's just a little bit of redness right in there. Hit it with this flame. Get it all burnt off. Now I think we've got this completely burnt just like we want it. There's a little bit more red right there. See that? Just a few little spots. Flame, see right up in there? See, right up there. Should take care of it. Alright, the rest of this looks superb. That's platinum sponge. It's not going to be pure. It'll be impure. It's going to have other platinum group metals in it. There's one more little spot right there. Got that out of there. So now what we'll do is we'll turn this off. And let's pull this down over here and let this cool off. Here's our impure platinum sponge. I've allowed it to cool off. Let's see if we can get a weight on this. I've got the weight of the dish on here, 296.0. call it 326. So we've got 326 minus 296 equals exactly 30 grams of impure platinum in here. And I still have the stuff back there in that funnel. There's still going to be platinum in there. So in the next part of the video, in part 3, I'll burn that and we'll get a weight on whatever's left over in there also. So this will conclude part 2 of the platinum jewelry refining series of videos. Thank you for watching.